Well, tax day is exactly 1 week away, and it wouldn't be Wednesday without a visit from wealth management expert Mark Lampkin. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Happy Easter, by the way.
Yes, happy Easter to you too. And so, it's our next favorite holiday. Tax day. And there has been so much talk about this one big beautiful bill, and it's so confusing. I don't understand it, and a lot of our viewers don't either. So what exactly is the one big beautiful bill?
Well, it's been estimated, and ChatGPT, my favorite thing right now. So I go in there last night and talk about this one big beautiful bill, and they said that, or ChatGPT said there could be up to $1 billion left on the table in refunds this year from missed deductions. So we're going to talk about that today. Some people think they can deduct cotton candy and rainbows. Other people think they're going to jail for taking a standard deduction.
Yeah.
There's got to be a fair balance, and we're going to talk about those today and hopefully save you thousands of dollars.
Yes, so I would think that the one thing that they're getting wrong this year is they're not using a tax professional to file their taxes.
Yeah. And think about today, I'm not a tax professional, so make sure the things you hear today talk about your tax professional.
Yeah.
But this year's different. This is not copy and paste like most years. There are so many things that have changed this year. This year, that tax professional, we'll talk about some of that right now.
Yes, and so you kind of mentioned it, the standard deduction instead of taking, instead of state and local tax. So how do you kind of break that down?
Yeah, so this year in the big beautiful bill or big ugly bill, depending on how you look at it,
on your
right?
perspective,
It
yes.
helps some, hurts the others.
Yeah.
But most people for years have just done the standard deduction. And the standard deduction is about, $15,750, $31,500 for a couple, somewhere around there. But what's called SALT is up to $40,000 this year. So for years, people did that standard deduction. But this year, you might want to look at that. It's either state income taxes or sales taxes. So if you made a big purchase or had a big year and had sales income or paid a lot of income taxes, you can actually use that instead of the standard deduction, and that could be a $3,000 to $10,000 difference. So ask your tax preparer to run that both ways. If you made some big purchases, you may come off better doing the itemization instead of just taking that standard deduction.
Okay, that's a really big one because you wouldn't think to do that if you're like, on like a free service. You
Right,
wouldn't
everybody's
think to do that.
used standard, just like the standard deduction for years and years and years. But with this big, beautiful bill, itemized this year, have them run it both ways. It doesn't cost you any extra.
Right, and just sitting down and getting all the information because we want that big refund at the end of it.
Especially if you made those big purchases. So itemize if you did.
And then missing new above-the-line deductions.
So here's a big one that if you're in the service industry especially, or if you work a lot of overtime, because tips up to a very large levels are now tax-free. Overtime is actually tax-free to certain levels. But here's the big deal. A lot of businesses give bonuses. Bonuses are taxable. So depending what that bonus is for, if you're working longer hours or doing things, you may want to have a conversation. I don't want you breaking the law, right?
We're not going to do that.
Yeah,
the IRS is not going to give us a call.
Tax evasion's prison. Tax avoidance is good, right?
Yeah.
So talk to your employer, and if you can get that as overtime, you pay no taxes. But if it's bonus, you're taxed on it. So those are two big deals right now in this bill that helps the average person that's out there thousands of dollars.
Right. And so also missing smart charitable strategies.
Yeah, this is one of my favorites because I deal with this a lot.
Okay.
So especially if you're the age bracket that takes required minimum distributions. And what that is, Elle, is if you're a certain age, 73, for example, and it used to be 70 and a half, but if you're required to take so much money out from your IRAs or 401ks, things like that, you can actually take that out tax-free if it goes direct to charity. So if you give money to church, or just like the charity that was just on, or Blessings in a Backpack, or whomever it is, you pay no taxes on it, and it counts for your required minimum distribution, and the charity pays no taxes on it.
Okay.
So it's one of the first times I've ever known that the IRS has actually gave you a win-win.
Yeah,
for your
there
friend,
you go.
Right?
There you go.
And I say that the second one is, with this market near an all-time high, you may have some individual stocks or mutual funds or whatever that you got some big capital gains on and you don't want to sell it. Well, don't write a check to your charity. You can gift that appreciated stock and you pay no taxes. The charity pay no taxes. You avoid the 20% tax. So again, those are two ways that once the IRS is your friends, and you could save, again, thousands of taxes that way.
Amazing. And the last one is we probably should stop using last year's tax strategy.
Yeah,
because of this new bill.
Yeah, let's don't copy and paste anymore.
Yeah.
You know, and there's a few things like If you're in business this year, the 100% depreciation's back. So that went away for a few years. So if you bought something in your business that you might have 10, 12, 15 years to depreciate it, 100% up front. If you're a senior citizen, you get a bigger standard deduction this year. So there's a lot of things. So copying and pasting, doing the same thing you've always done, it's not about like tax law this year. It's more of using these loopholes legally.
Correct.
And saving that $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. The average refund is supposed to be up $1,200 this year, just using a few of these things. So that tax repair is important.
And again, you're not a tax professional.
That's right.
We got to take all this information and give it to the tax professional so then you can get your taxes done in 1 week, Mark.
You got it.
1 week
and
away.
I'll tell you the last thing I'll say. If you have a question or you really don't know what to do, you can always bring a year or 2 years of taxes to my office, and at no cost, we'll send them to our tax partner, have them review them for your viewers for free.
There we go.
No cost obligation, and we'll give you and help you get those thousands of dollars if you deserve them.
There we go. All right, Mark, thank you so much for
Thanks.
stopping by today.
Always a pleasure.
All right, so again, to learn more, get in touch with Mark, head over to lamkinwealth.com.
Wealth Wednesday on Great Day Live is sponsored by Lamkin Wealth Management.